Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to From the Depths, and welcome to the sandbox mode. We haven't been here for quite some time, honestly, and my lord, has the map changed. Anyway, we're here today to do a bit of testing when it comes to the old mine system, the old mines, which I do love so much at the moment. I'm on a bit of a mine binge when it comes to weaponry. This is the vehicle which has been, you know, shown off in the, in the, From the Depths Mini, because it wasn't really built to be good, it was built just to hold a ton of mines to test a few ideas out. So, today, we've got the tuberculosis stripped of its weaponry, still got the weapon controller here, and we're going to be testing out a method of literally lobbing the mines towards the enemy, rather than dropping them on their heads, because I've never really thought of the idea until a second ago. Just to use the regular turret, I suppose, facing it forwards, and I want a really, really small turret that can just fire like a single mine, and I would like this to be able to be placed quite easily, if that makes sense. So I can, I can just throw one of these down, save it as a sub build, and just build it wherever the hell I want to build it. Sorry, sub object, and then build it, just wherever I want to. So that's all connected, fantastic. Then now I want is ejectors. How do I... There we go, like that. Click. So the idea I'm going with, as you can probably see, is ejectors to quite literally just eject the lovely mine miles away. So it simply shoots it and hopefully it ends up somewhere in the water nearby. I like this idea because it just seems fun, even if I do a thing for dropping the weapons kind of on their heads, which is, to me, far more enjoyable. So explosive warhead, there we go. So that now should be done. That should work, because the AI element should already be underneath. So if that's still... I'm hoping as well this thing can actually look up when it's firing, but we'll find out that in a second. So that might be it. That's quite ugly, but you can place this quite easily. And honestly, if you wanted it prettier, I guess you could just make it like a full circle and put the thing in the middle. So, load a Sea Viper. Oh wait, will that other guy go after it? Okay, fire the You're not aiming upwards. Well, the mine hurt something else. Well, at close range, that would work. I'll give it that much. I wonder if that's going towards it. But at long range, not so much. Oh, actually, they are being propelled just because of how much force has been applied along the water, but that's really, really short range, to a degree which I don't agree with it. Also, look how slow this is, because I've turned down the blades. Fine. Excuse me, Mr. Retrofit. There, have fun. Okay, yeah, that's not going to work. I was hoping it would try to aim at it, but of course, missiles don't tend to lift or go down. So how about if we added a firing piece in addition? Not a functional firing piece, mind you, but just a firing piece. Because why not? Oh, well, he's now dropping bombs on it, so I'll be over in a second. So, custom cannons, firing piece there. Darn. You see, I was hoping it would try to move the turret up. It needs to be able to angle the turret, that's the problem. And if it doesn't do that, then this isn't really going to function, because that's... Three cylinders. Oh, that piece underneath isn't connected. So we had one piece which wasn't connected, but even without that piece at the bottom, that wouldn't really have done what I wanted it to do. So that's a little bit upsetting, honestly. But not exactly unexpected, just upsetting. So how could we make this work? Because I do really, really love the idea of being able to shoot the mines at the enemies. But if we can't fire upwards, if we can't get this thing to aim upwards, then I don't know how we can get this to work, because right now that's simply not going to function. So how do we make this turret angle itself to actually aim at something? Because I've seen them do it before, certainly. I've seen turrets be rather silly when it comes to that, but... In fact, I've seen it happen so badly. it's caused the game to essentially break. Perhaps because that firing piece didn't have ammo or anything, it wasn't doing... I mean, I've mostly seen it on firing pieces, there's the thing. So if we go with a single motor-driven barrel perhaps, and then give it a single ammo box, so it's technically a functional thing, and try again, summon a Sea Viper in the distance and fire away. Nope. Although the mines which are already there just destroyed it instantly though, because of this fellow. Ah, that's a shame. That's actually a shame. I guess it would kind of work on a flyer though. I mean, if you put them on the front, for instance, of this vehicle... Ooh. Actually, that's not a terrible idea. Where are you, sir? There we are. This is the tuberculosis retrofit number 3. As you can tell, it was built for testing purposes and nothing else. So if we want to continue this build, which actually I might, because I do love the idea of the bombing tuberculosis, then we're going to need to make some changes on this thing. For instance, actually letting me get out. Oh, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, what if we tried it on this instead? So, new object, we have the 360 turret, the precision turret, because why not? And honestly, we could probably fit 2 of them here, so just missiles and torpedoes, missile controller, we have the 6-way connectors, just mirror it this time, so it goes like this. Then we have the launch pad, actually we could have 2 instead there. Then we have the ejectors on the same place as before. Ooh, can they be on the same place as before? They should be able to. There we go. Then we have the actual missile block, obviously this thing's far too front heavy. That's being made a lot worse by the fact I've turned up the things. Again, this is not an ending vehicle, sir and This is here purely to be silly. It was built literally just to hold things just and fly, so that's all it is. It took me like 10 seconds to make. It's made out of solid wood. So a magnet, and then we want an explosive warhead. And that's that done. All it needs now is an actual AI piece, which I guess I could put on the outside, which would be really, really silly. Or we could actually attach it to the vehicle itself, I guess. We put it here-ish, but that's... I find that a little bit iffy, honestly. Would that connect to the weapon? Really? It wouldn't? The problem is that's a beam. Oh well, there it goes. It can be nice and safe in this beam, so then we put the transmitter on here, like... Try again, the receiver, rather, on here like so. And then we have a functional turret again. Okay, so spawn an enemy, so spawn a Sea Viper. Oh, it's aiming, it's firing! Now that's not so... Well, that actually isn't bad at all. Look how far that goes. Ooh, now that's a type of weapon that could actually work then. If it's on a flyer, that's not as bad. Just because of the distance it'll actually travel. That way it has a bit of a upsidedown. Killed the other one instead first, but still. Plus, the actual ammo it's using, as we can see, is absolutely minimal. It's 25 ammo per shot, which is nothing. It also reloads remarkably quickly, because it's only, it's only one piece. Yeah, okay. So that's an idea we can work with. We don't even necessarily need them on a turret, but I think that's just the best way to do it. And then when it's too high, it simply stops firing. Excellent. Please don't fire backwards. And we've just loosed a volley of mines, which are all now being magnetically drawn. Okay, so that's definitely an idea. Let's restart the designer, spawn in the current tuberculosis bomber, and perhaps build a ship vaguely around this. Or we could just edit this thing, but I think this is far too... This is beyond saving. This needs a lot done to it if we wanted to do that. But first of all, though, what I do want to do is quickly go to Edit Turret, which is this one. So, Edit Turret, and then save Subobject, and call this Basic Mine... Oh, Mine Lobber. Save. There we go. So we have the Mine Lobber, so now we can put these down wherever we want. Just go on Regular, load Subobject, Mine Lobber. Hey presto, we can spawn these things in mass. Okay, yeah, I quite like that, actually. I quite like that. That's something we could definitely work with. Certainly. Okay, yeah, so back in a second. And we are back, and I'm almost certain this may actually work. Well, that's a really certain thing, isn't it? I'm almost certain this may actually work. This turret is a torqueless turret, meaning that it essentially acts independently from the ship, meaning that most likely this one will be able to do the turn thing. Oh, when it can. Exactly what I wanted. Look how far that can go. That's fantastic. But let's see in practice if it works like I want it to work. So, as always, a lucky Sea Viper will be our test subject here. Oh, that fired. Obviously, I haven't changed any of the settings yet, so it's currently firing no matter what the accuracy is. Well, that's actually a lot better. Still short range, but at least a lot of the shot isn't being wasted. So I think we have actually made our first missile lobber, which will actually do angles as well, meaning that it can be put on ships and flyers and everything a little bit better. Now this, I'll probably only be using in an actual mine bomber. Also, I've just realised that I haven't actually set the mines to be mines just yet. Whoopsie daisy. There we go. Good. Okay, so that's now actually, there you go, the first one was hit, and now the rest are all clambering over it. So it can actually hit things this far away. Okay. Now the reason why I'm interested in this is because of the low ammo usage this thing has. This is the... cool. This is a minimum size missile, so it does use up very, very little ammo, meaning that we can spam these turrets making multiple weapon systems. I'm not sure if I said that in the last bit, I'm not sure what I actually cut out and what I didn't. So... yeah, that's kind of what I want to go with now. Something similar to this, perhaps a little bit more compact. Probably just one gun, honestly. But also need to figure out how the hell these things work exactly, because I can't put them underneath. Now, I'm fairly... you know, I'm always certain you can put these ejectors on the underbelly, but I can't figure out how. You'd think then, okay, if this is like that, then perhaps here. Okay, perhaps here. But it doesn't actually flip in the way you might expect, so you can't get this thing upside down. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I, for the life of me, can't figure out how the hell to get this thing upside down, which is a really annoying thing. Now, another thing I want to test out is perhaps a mine hybrid. Now, this is something I'm actually quite interested in testing out. So, the idea is very similar to what was already there, having mines and magnets, etc., except for instead we have... where are you? We have a... oh, well, I've got the no, that'd be bigger than they currently are. That's still quite small. 3 is still small, but it's not as small as actually... never mind. Okay, the thing I was thinking of perhaps making it almost like a missile system, but not quite. So something like using torpedo. So torpedo sonar, torpedo propeller, and then using a single set of fins, a single fuel tank, and then 2 magnetic elements. The idea being it could be small and perhaps act like a mine, but the previous incarnation wouldn't have that much space. So actually this wouldn't work how I wanted it to work, although it will still probably work. That fires way too... wow. On the upside, that's a torpedo that's going to get there pretty darn quick. Did that just overshoot the enemy? Wow, we have missiles, we have torpedoes that now overshoot the enemy. That's kind of impressive, honestly. So, fast-acting torpedo. That's kind of cool, but not what I was going for. So, yeah. Did we not add the explosive warhead? We didn't even add the warhead. That helps. That helps. Try again. This time with explosives. There we go. So, yeah, that's not going to work. So, I think that's probably the best I'm going to get it. And I'm not sure how viable that is. I'm probably going to stick with what I was doing originally, using the just bog standard magnet and an explosive warhead mines, because that's quite fun. But yeah, being able to actually lob them towards the enemy is very satisfying, it must be said. So I think I will keep this mine lobber. It's simple, it works, it's going to do some decent damage since it's still got 1 explosive warhead, which is as strong as some of the smaller missiles. And it's cheap to make, and remake, and make, and make, and make. Probably going to downsize it though, to only have 1 actual weapon, though. Perhaps there's two. Okay, so for now we'll save it anyway. So, edit turret and spinner, and we're going to save this. So, let's go with, let's save it over the mine lobber. There we go. So now if I went into normal build mode, mine lobber, we should be able to start spamming these like so. Which are all going to clip into each other horribly. Because they've got got the controller either. Ooh. How bad would it be to put the controller actually on it? So, last time we're going to check out this, then we're going to actually get to building our airship a little bit better, the current tuberculosis R2. So just load the regular tuberculosis. So prefabs, sorry, sub-object, mine lobber, shove it here. Edit this, and we're going to put an AI on it, a local weapons controller. Well done, Lathrix, that totally went as planned. Try again. It's going to be freaking out because a piece of it's touching that. Ooh. Oh no, that's an issue. We can't actually attach it to that itself. That is an issue because it'd essentially have to have it here. Which means it couldn't turn back on itself. Because if we put it here... Oh, actually what it could do is this. So those two there, AI, weapons controller, attach it to this. Yep. And then we want a receiver attached to it. So would this do the turn? That's the thing I'm actually concerned about. Would this actually aim upwards? Or even, nope, it wouldn't. Or it could just be stuck, I'm not sure. That was me controlling it there at the end. Well, the enemy's dead now. So try again with the Sea Viper. No, it wouldn't. It needs to be attached at the base, so it needs to actually be able to control this itself, which means it'll have to be on the hull, because otherwise it won't be able to do this. Okay, that's a shame, but okay. So, final restart. Let's spawn in the R2. Let's see what we can actually do to it. Or we could actually go into the campaign and start working on it there. That would be best idea. Okay, back in a second with the campaign, and where we can actually do some work to improve our bomber. Okay, and we are back on the Tuberculosis Retrofit 2, where we can now start work on adding that lovely missile thing, the lovely turret. Now, with turrets, I'm fairly certain you can't have them upside down now, can you? It'd be nice if you could, but I'm... Yeah, relatively certain you can't. That's a big issue, really. But it doesn't... So it means we're simply going to have them either on the side, or have them on the... I keep thinking it's lagging because of how their movement changes. So I guess we're going to have it like this. Like here-ish, maybe. So I do want these on this ship because it does gives it just an edge. It gives it the ability to be a little bit more than it currently is. So how about if we did, actually, I've got an idea. Mirror mode. I know this is wood, but because I want it to be wood. One there. One there. And yes, I am keeping these, by the way, in case anyone's mentioned it yet. Mine lobbers. Put one there. Put one here. Then we do the opposite. We put one here. And put one there. And finally, what we'll do is we'll go AI, local weapons control, etc. And then we'll make sure to add a failsafe and such, because, well, otherwise this thing's going to just be eating away at every ship, including ourselves, very, very quickly. So there we are then. That'll be it, actually. That's kind of the exact thing I wanted. So these little very odd turrets now are going to act to lob, as in their name, lob mines across the battlefield at the enemies. Haha. Failsafes. Very vulnerable, but also extremely cheap, so it won't be exactly difficult to repair them. So I'm not too concerned about this thing dying. Okay, there we are, and that should be that. Like, I don't mind them firing quite out of range, as long as they don't shoot our own ship, which they shouldn't do. Now I've got the failsafe installed. Also, really need to sort out these balloons, because we're currently still back heavy. I mean, we could just solve it by adding more stuff to the back, and honestly, that's not a terrible idea now I've said it out loud. Because this thing still needs its resources, still needs the ammunition processors, which I'm only going to add 2. I could add a lot more, but I'm going to add 2 straight away, so there we go. We've already added a bit of weight to the back. Then I would like some other stuff as well in the future, but that's fine for now. We still need a crystal farm. We're actually running out of crystals, that's something to be concerned about. So there we are, the Retrofit 2 is now a little bit more useful than it previously was. I mean, yeah, it's got 4 mine lobbers. It'll throw mines at a distance at the enemies, hopefully not hitting our own. I mean, what we need to do is actually test this, because right now, like I say, we're still in the we're in the scientific stage. We're in the testing stage. So what I need to do is find an enemy we can fight without much danger to us. So I'm going to be right back. We're actually going to keep on heading this way anyway, because well, that's where the enemies are. So we're going off on a journey. Back in a second. Okay, perfect. There's an enemy here which is only a strength 8, meaning that most likely, as long as it's not a flyer... Oh, it's an Atlas. That's just annoying. Well, okay, we'll get our guys into the fight here so we can spawn them in as we need to. One thing I'm a little bit annoyed about is for some reason this fleet is not going back to its fleet formation. No matter what I do, it's stuck in this really weird, very compact formation here, which is just going to kill each other as soon as they spawn in. Now, I'm not sure why that's happened, honestly. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. So, just need to get these guys somewhere where they can actually, you know, deal with the fight without crashing into our guy. Well, saying that, most of those are ground units anyway. But I just want to test out the missiles, and this is the best way to do so. Okay, close enough. They can be spawned in once the battle starts. So, spawn in the tuberculosis R2. Let's test this out. Oh yeah, I hadn't changed the mines yet, had I? Oh. That's cool. And no, not a single shot has hit us yet. I mean, we instantly ran out of ammo, but look at that! That can actually be used against other flyers. Just has to be close. Oh, lost a balloon. Ah, we're losing balloons everywhere. Quickly, get the balloons back online, guys. Okay, build. Okay, we need more, we need both more ammo barrels and more ammunition processors. This is a very scientific day, isn't it? Today is it's a day of science. And the science gets done and all that. Oh, our mines actually hit the enemy. They're not actually exploding, though. Why are they not exploding? Surely they should explode just by impact. They are explosive warheads. That's curious. Well, one of them did, but not all of them are actually detonating. Which is very, very odd. It is cool, though, that we can do that. That makes this a lot more useful than it previously was, and it actually means that these are actually in a decent place. Stop destroying my balloons and don't land in the water for all that's holy. Let's see, how's the Atlas sorted out? So it has 2 propellers here and here. I mean, this one rises, so this is back heavy. Okay, let's spawn in our allies. We obviously don't deal with these guys very well. Just spawn in a couple of these guys. Spawn in the tuberculosis and the water buffalo. Which hopefully I haven't spawned in together. Oh, some of them would have, though. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why those mines don't detonate versus other air units, which is kind of upsetting, honestly, but that's fine. It's awesome to see we haven't hit ourselves yet once. Maybe it needs proximity as well. I mean, if we had a proximity switch as well for like minimum size, or perhaps it's distance. That one exploded. That one missed. Sadly, he's going to hit the hull as well. Also, that just looks cool. I'm sorry, but those really short-range shots like that just look. It looks like a proper cannon. Well done, tuberculosis and water buffalo. Any reason why we're not turning? Well, we are now, because I'm going to manually do... Ooh, that's why, because you can't. Okay, well, I'm going to retreat us before we kill ourselves. No, I'm just going to ram into this, aren't I? Why can't this thing turn? Why can't it turn? It should have... Where are the thrusters? Ah! It had thrusters before, though. But it did have thrusters before, because we had thrusters because we practiced... There they are. Because you have no engine? But you did have an engine. I had an engine... But I saved... Did I save early? Oh, I must have saved too early. Oh, damn it. Okay. So we saved before I realised about the whole... We need to re-add an engine. This is a day of oddity, isn't it? Tuberculosis, please go out of play for just a second. Now will you guys go back to regular formation? Please. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I didn't know you could do that. Thankfully, you can actually change the ships in a formation while they're actually in the fleet. Thank God for that. Okay, well, let's spawn this guy and make a really, really cheap engine quickly. Okay, there we go. It's now up in the air and functioning nicely. Excellent. Look, it's turning and everything. I can't believe I must have forgot, because in the last episode I'd actually fixed that issue, and I mustn't have saved before exiting the game. Well, the only thing left to change then is the actual weapons themselves, which also had the same issue of being let go far too early. Now, where are you? Weapons, weapons, weapons. If I were a weapon, and I secretly am, where'd I be? There we are. Hello. How are you doing? So, you there. So if it's any higher than 170, I think we said last time, it simply won't drop the bombs. There we go. And then we do the same on the opposite side, and that's us ready to go. I'm going to go back into sandbox mode, because I want to see how to make those mines usable versus other air units. Even though obviously they're not going to be best against those, it would be nice if they actually could at least be used, so I wouldn't have to add like a IA turret to this thing. Because at this stage we're going to have to, which is kind of, I don't really want to do that, honestly. I don't really want to do that, so I'll be right back, and we're going to get right back into sandbox mode. We're learning today, so today is going to be a less than productive learning day. So here we are to test everything out, and I think I may know the reasoning. So one thing I will note is that I did notice that the mines were using the torpedo element as opposed to the magnets, but that was changed long before that battle. At least it should have been if the load happened properly, and I'm not sure if it did or not. So it could have been that the mines were still using the torpedo propeller as opposed to the mine. That may have affected it, I'm not sure, but more likely I've got a theory that the mines aren't going off until the magnet is active, and the magnet does take 10 seconds to activate. So we're going to have a quick check on that by spawning in an enemy of extreme levels of renown. Yes, we're going to be spawning in another Retrofit 2 to fight the Retrofit 2. Oh, and I've also added 2 new balloons to the retrofit, I've decided, because it wasn't quite stable enough, I found. So we'll find out how it goes. Actually, I think the torpedo element may have been there, because look, there's no streaks. Those are blowing up. Was it as simple as that? And now they're closer, they're not. So actually, I don't think it was. Oh, wow. Ramming into each other, brilliant. Since they have the same settings, I guess they will ram into each other. So I think that may have simply been it. It may have just been they were too close to each other during the fight, and that didn't let the weapons get set off. Oh, this is going to have a bad time. All of these mines are landing in the water and are magnetised. So yeah, it will work then, just at a longer range than anticipated. And still the point of these things is to attack land units, not air units. So honestly, I'm quite happy with this. I'll be changing it up next time. Like say, this was a bit of a experimental episode, just testing out some new things. I will be trying to implement them better in future episodes, and I think honestly a ship using these mine lobbers might not be a terrible idea. Yeah, look, as you can see, at this really close range, they're simply not being set off. Okay, well, at least now we know what's going on. So, with that, Threats, I have to go. I'm going on a bit of a journey today. Bit of adventure in real life, so I'm sorry if it was a bit of a short episode. However, there wasn't really much editing to do in this episode, I don't think, so I'm hoping it was an okay length. So I hope you've enjoyed the episode regardless. If you have, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that From the Depths is a series you want to see continued. Thank you for watching, have a lovely day, and goodbye.